What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be Greenleaf season 4, episode 5. Now, look, y'all. I'm not sure how I feel about this. They kind of losing me. Greenleaf, y'all are losing me a little bit, but let's go on and just jump into it. So we start this episode off with Grace finishing her phone call with Noah. She goes and confronts Charity. Of course, Charity plays dumb. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, you called Noah. She was like, well, I mean, I heard that he came by the church, and I just wanted to see how him and Isabel were doing. And, Gigi was like, stop it. Like, you ain't cared about Noah any other time. And here go Charity doing that mess that Charity does. Well, once upon a time, the talk was about me and Noah and not you and Noah. Honey, Gigi was like, when you were 5. Charity was like, well, child. Talking about we've known each other a long time. Charity, just stop it. So, then we see she was like, well, you broke up their marriage. Isabella got the message and she put him out the house. Now, let me say this. Charity, you were right the first time. You ain't break up nobody's marriage. That marriage was broken. You might have been the last straw that broke the camel's back. But trust and believe, that camel was carrying a whole lot of hay. First of all, they got married. Like, if you want to go back to season 1, their whole marriage was on some fugazi. He was engaged. She found out that he had cheated on her, and then basically she hit him with that ultimatum, like, you marry me today or it's a wrap. So they never healed from the affair. That's why the first whiff that she got that he was in Memphis, never mind his family lives in Memphis, but the first whiff that she got that he went by that church, it was a wrap. So, Charity, you might have pushed, but you ain't the reason why he fell off the cliff. Anyway, then we see Karissa with Lady Mae. Let me tell y'all something. I want to know who writes these lines for Lady Mae, because when I tell you, her dialogue kills me. I wish I could just, recite her dialogue, because she gives me some funny stuff, honey. She's sitting there reading Bob Whitmore's new book, and he was like, Clarissa was like, oh, that's Bob Whitmore's new book? Okay, hey, Lady Mae, how you doing? Lady Mae was like, what you want? She said, is it that obvious? Lady Mae said, look, I have 4 kids. I can smell need a mile away. I said, oh, damn. Now, Clarissa is there to ask her for the furniture for when they move. Now, first of all, Lady Mae didn't know they was moving. So Lady Mae hit her with the, excuse me? You moving? Well, yeah, it's this house we've had our eye on. And I'm just wondering if when we leave, if we could take the furniture. It would just make things so much easier. Where they do that at? Then Lady Mae says, I let y'all take the furniture the last time y'all moved out. And you left the furniture at the parsonage. So, she's talking about, so yeah, we had to do that for the civil case. So, I got a couple of questions. Help me out in them comments. I know y'all will. I'm in education. Okay? I know that let me say this. I know that principals make decent money that is pretty in line with the cost of living. Like, teachers don't make a lot of money. And I'm not saying principals are millionaires. Let me be very clear. But principals make more money than teachers, generally speaking. There are exceptions to rules, but generally speaking. Let me just forget all that. Principals make good damn money. Okay? Karissa, why are y'all so broke? I get it that y'all might not have a lot of money. But later on in the episode, Lady Mae tells her, why you can't get a credit card? Like everybody else. When I bought my house, I had to go get a credit card and that's exactly what I did. I bought a credit card to furnish my house. Like, that is what I did. That credit card has now become my household credit card. I paid it off, and now I use it for emergencies. God forbid, if something in the house break or an emergency come up, that's the credit card that I use. And I'm just trying to figure out, you have 2 incomes and you ain't paid rent in God knows how long. Because when y'all were at the parsonage, y'all wasn't paying no rent. Jacob was making money for being the pastor. You making money for being a principal. What the hell y'all doing with y'all money that you can't buy furniture? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm back. So, I want to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Okay. We see Jacob praying. And Jacob says that his need to support the homeless in Memphis has been rekindled. Remember, that was the reason why he bought that land in the first place. He wanted to have like a straight to the street type ministry. Well, that might be why he bought the land in the first place. But remember, at one point he wanted to do like a straight to the street ministry type thing where he wanted to minister to the homeless and so forth and so on. And so he wants to bring a program to Calvary to reignite. I forgot what he called it, but his straight to the street type ministry. So let's get to it. Let's go down here to Calvary. So Grace is here, and Phil tells Grace off the break, look, tell your brother, I'm not understanding why y'all keep coming up with ideas that Hope and Harmony already has covered. We have a program that takes care of the homeless or helps the homeless. And Grace was like, look, first of all, the homeless problem in Memphis is at an all-time high. And if my brother wants to put something in place that to help, what's the big deal? Well, we're duplicating services. We don't need to do that. He said, so, I really don't want to see him get his feelings hurt. It's not going to get past the deacons, the board, the board. Just tell him to pull it off the agenda. Grace was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to let him present. And if they vote yes, then that's what it's going to be. Honey, Phil ain't liking that. Now, on the other hand, Miss Charity is feeling all kinds of guilty because she done let that thing get in her head that she done broke up these people's marriage. And she ain't sleeping and all that stuff. So she's talking to Carlton about it. And Carlton tells her, look, because she's talking about something, I'm going to hell. He said, for what? I broke up somebody's marriage. What? And he tells her, he said, look. Basically, he tells her, you're going to keep feeling bad as long as the reason why you did what you did still exists. So basically, you need to eliminate what you're doing. Like, you breaking up that marriage was just a result of something else you're doing. So Charity goes to Phil and says basically, look, I can't do this no more. Like, I'm not going to do your dirty work. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you barely even gave me anything. She was like, exactly. And what little bit I did do created a situation that I feel guilty about. So I can't do your dirty work anymore. So then she goes on to say, I'm just not like you. And I think that stung him a little bit, because she basically was like, she said, look, I'll support you. I want to be a pastor here. I want to share my story and I want to help women who've been through what I've been through, but not at the expense of my soul, basically. I just can't do it. I will support you in any way that's on the up and up, but I can't do no more of this backdoor stuff. I'm not going to spy on Grace anymore, none of that. And, she kind of leaves out of his office. Now, Grace down the hall, she has, her brother, the lawyer, she done paid off Bishop's tax debt. She's spending up this money, okay? Lionel money is going to some great causes. Well, maybe. But she's paid off Bishop's tax debt. So we ain't got to worry about that hanging over his head anymore, And, let me rewind. I'm sorry. She gets in her office after she done talked to Phil. And who was sitting in her office but AJ? First of all, she was like, did anybody see you come through here? He was like, I don't know. She said, I don't know how to say this without being rude, but you can't come up in here. And he basically was like, I need some money. She was like, I just gave you some money. Well, I need some more. And then he hits her with it's not like you can't afford it. Don't spend my money for me. Don't count my money. Don't spend my money. You don't know what I can and can't do. Grace was like, what about that job? How the job hunting going? He talking about something. It's going. So she gave him some money because basically she just wanted him to get the hell up out of there. So she gave him some money and told him she would put some more money in his account. Now, just at that moment, who come in her door? Phil. And, of course, he looking like, who the dreadlock boy up in here? Who this? He didn't say anything, but he was peeping it. And, Grace was kind of giving him can I help you? And he gave her some old cockamamie reason why he in her office, but he wasn't really trying to leave because he really was trying to figure out who AJ was. So she gets rid of him or whatever. And so, when it's time for AJ to leave, she sends AJ out the back door. And he was like, well, what's this door for? She was like, it's the fire exit, in case of a fire. He was like, I guess I'm a fire. And I'm really torn about how I feel about AJ. Like in that scene right there, I wasn't feeling AJ. I was like, okay, he's using Grace. He just wants some money. He doesn't really want to do anything. He think he done found, a long lost, relative with a bunch of money, and he gonna run this guilt trip on Grace until Grace decides that she's done. That was my first half, but then I'm gonna get to my second half in a minute. So while she's meeting with her brother, she asked him if he can help her with a parishioner. Who do they call it, parishioners in the Baptist church? I grew up Catholic. We call them parishioners. Is that what they call? Anyway, church member. She said, he just got out of jail. I'm wondering if maybe you could talk to him, see if there's anything you can do to help him out. And he was like, for you, anything. So she just set this meeting up with AJ and her brother. Now back over here to the estate. Bishop is getting excited about preaching this sermon, honey. He done got Corinne to come over there and help him upload his old sermons onto a hard drive so he can look at all of them again, kind of get the juices flowing. And he is really excited. Like, you can really tell that he's excited that somebody has asked him to preach. Now, I don't understand, y'all. I didn't understand it last week. I understand it even less this week. And even the way they resolved it, I'm just flabbergasted. I don't get it. Lady Mae is acting like Bishop leaving for one Sunday to preach at a church in Atlanta, which is probably a 2-hour, 3-hour ride from Memphis, if that. Like, if that. I don't know the exact, but I know it's just not far. It ain't that deep to get from Memphis to Atlanta. If you fly, probably a 20-minute flight. I don't know. But he decides, Lady Mae is acting like it is. Now I could see if the man was going for like a 6-month stint, like he was going to be a guest pastor for like 6 months or something like that. But one Sunday, that's like when you invite somebody to come preach at your church for Men's Day or Women's Day. It's one dang Sunday. Like, the Calvary is not going to be any better or any worse because Bishop, who ain't preached at Calvary in over a year, is gone. So Lady Mae is just not happy about it. She's not happy about it. She's telling him that, it's like Nero watching Rome burn, and at least Nero stayed in town to watch Rome burn. And, Calvary our hold on Calvary is fading away, and nobody seems to care but me. And they're all looking at her like, you tripping. And Bishop is really like, okay, Lady Mae, you tripping. So they end up having a conversation later on where he approaches her because Karissa then went to him about the furniture. Again, Karissa, really? That's like some old, and Lady Mae says this later on in the episode, but that's like some old 3rd grade shit. You gonna go to, mommy said no, so you gonna go to daddy. Isn't that what Zora did to you about the house, about the cottage? Remember how you felt about that happening? But whatever. And of course, Lady Mae's reaction is the same as mine. Like, are you serious? Like, she really went to you? He was like, it's just furniture. It's just furniture. She was like, it's really just the principle of the matter. Like, I already gave this woman some furniture. I don't want them to move. So no, I'm not going to encourage and help them do it. So they get into it about Atlanta again. So she basically tells him, look, if you don't go to Atlanta, I'll go ahead and let her have the furniture. He was like, so basically you blackmailing me now to not go to Atlanta? She was like, I ain't blackmailing you. I'm just saying, if you don't go to Atlanta, I'll go ahead and give her the furniture. Bishop was like, yeah, all right, I'll let her know that you said no. Like, I'll let her know that I'm standing by what you said. Because he's like, you're not going to blackmail me and then not going to damn Atlanta. So next we see AJ. He meeting up with the brother. And the brother starts talking about how much of a saint Grace is and how, Grace is this wonderful person. And I've literally seen her give the shoes off her feet to somebody. I mean, she helps any charity case that comes along. Like, she's just that kind of person. And the minute he said that, I felt AJ, because his face basically said, oh, so I'm just a charity case? Like, this is what she does? Like, I'm not special? This is what she does for everybody? This isn't about her wanting to do right by me as her son? I'm just another charity case to her? That's what I heard. That's how I took it. I ain't speaking for AJ, But what I do know is that AJ got his ass up, asked to go to the bathroom, and he ain't never come back now. We all knew he wasn't coming back. I don't know if y'all knew, but I knew he wasn't coming back. So, Philip gonna roll up on Charity and say, look, let me take you to dinner. He was like, I think you really have a bad impression of me. And she was like, look, I done already told you I'm not down for this no more. He was like, look, I'm not even talking about Grace. I'm just saying, let me take you to dinner. Let me show you the real Phil Dumars. You know, Charity was like, I'll think about it. But then, of course, as she was walking off, she got to grinning. So, you know, she going to go to dinner with this man. Zora is down to the cottage working on her stuff for the Sunday school. And she gets a phone call from, what's the girl name? Dante's girlfriend, the basketball player's girlfriend. She was like, look, you need to get over here because Dante is having a party. He just found out he made the all-star team. And it is litty. I never use that word again. But anyway, it is litty up in here, honey. So, you know Zora a little fast ass. She got dressed, threw on her best little outfit, and sashayed her tail right on over to the party. But as soon as she got to the party, she realized that this dude is drunk and still drinking. And that's probably not going to end well for anybody. So, Jacob is doing his presentation. He's presenting, you know, his plan for the homeless. He's with the deacons. And they are feeling him like they nodding. They giving him the And Zora calls. The first time Zora calls, sends it a voicemail. Zora called right back. Jacob was like, look, this is my daughter. It might be an emergency. She's called me back to back. I really got to take this call. Grace was like, Jacob, we are in the middle of this. He was like, Grace, this is my daughter. I got to take care of it. He gets on the phone with with Zora, and Zora is telling him, look, you need to get down here. Dante is drunk, and he's out of control, and he is really tripping. And he about to burn the damn Confederate flag. Now, remember, he had already got in trouble for running over a Confederate statue, okay? So, he down at his house, and Jacob gets there. I'm just going to knock this out. Jacob gets there, and he's trying to break it up. But, you know, in the world of social media, 50 cameras rolling, watching this whole thing go down. Jacob is really trying to stop this boy. And two of the white teammates roll up and are like, come on, Dante, we doing this again? He was like, look, man, if you want to self-destruct, do it in the off-season. Not while we trying to chase a championship. So one of his little flunkies talking about you ride the bench. Look, white boy turned around and knocked the snot out of him. Which, of course, a fight ensues. Which, of course, ends up going all over social media. And, you know, he was trying to break it up. But it is clear that this boy is not listening to him and or respects Jacob. I think he respects him to a certain degree. But he ain't trying to hear what Jacob has to say for real. And so Jacob ends up getting fired from the team. This thing that made it all through social media. And he ends up getting fired from the team. Because, I mean, that was his job, was to stop Dante from doing something like that again. And I think it almost would have been better had he not been there and Dante did that than for them to see that Dante didn't listen to him and didn't respond when he was trying to stop him and that he got out of control and he was there. I think it would almost been better if it happened and he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Because then he could at least say, well, look, I've been working with the brother. He got drunk. Let me talk to him. But the fact that you were there when it went down, not a good look. So Lady Mae and Bishop have this really good conversation where Bishop says, because she's like, I just don't know why you insist on going to Atlanta. And Bishop was like, look, do you know what it's like to just feel like, you know, you're not wanted? Do you understand that feeling? He said, I miss preaching and I just want one Sunday where I can just have that feeling again, that feeling of that somebody wants me, you know, that I'm needed. And she throws Mavis and Skanks in her face. Not Skanks. You know what I'm talking about. LaToya Luckett's character. Not Skanks. Skanks was the sister-in-law. Y'all know who I'm talking about. LaToya Luckett's character. She said, you know, basically saying that's what got your ass in trouble with them needing to be wanted. And she said, I don't understand why people just don't listen to me. Why do all of y'all just not listen to me? And he said, you don't know what that feels like. He said, because somehow or another, you are always surrounded by people who need you or people who want you. So you don't know you don't understand what it feels like, what I'm saying. So she was like, she said, I just don't understand why you can't listen to me. She said, he was like, I think you mean obey me. She said, well, if I'm telling you right, why does it matter? And I'm thinking, that damn Lady Mae is hilarious to me. But then he says to her, he said, you notice how I never once threw Lionel at you and how that whole situation made me feel? And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you real quick to be throwing, Bishop's past indiscretions. But ma'am, you had a whole baby for 30, 40 years that you ain't tell him about. I think y'all even. And I kind of think he ahead. You might want to just be quiet. Because you might just want to be quiet. So anyway, brother call up Grace and say, look, your boy, or the Grace call him and basically say, so what happened? He was like, you tell me. He was like, your boy went to the bathroom and never came back. I don't know what went down. So Grace goes to confront AJ. AJ drinking. See, AJ has a drinking problem. And this is how I really know AJ has a drinking problem. Because AJ done switched up. He just drinking whatever he can put his hands on. See what I'm saying? Somebody, like people who just like to sip a little bit, they usually have a favorite, and that's what they sip on. That don't mean that they don't switch it up every once in a while. We all switch it up every once in a while for people who drink. You know what I'm saying? But he went from dark liquor to, I don't know what that was, a wine bottle, whiskey bottle, whatever. I don't know. But he's clearly drinking. And he tells Grace, he said, look, that man thinks that you walk on water. And I'm sitting there on all your secrets. And it was either me expose you just out of pure anger or for me to leave. So I chose to leave. He said, but let me tell you something. This right here, this ain't working. He said, I will find a job. I will find a way to pay my rent and take care of myself. But I don't want anything else from you. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you here. This isn't working. This is over. Grace was like, what are you talking about? He was like, it's over. It's a wrap. He said, let me tell you something else. If anybody asks me who I am, the next person that asks me who I am, I'm telling them. I'm going to tell them. Child. This is getting long, but honey, I ain't even halfway done. We got a few more things to talk about. So Phil meets up with Charity. And I think he really is telling her the truth. And I think he really is maybe feeling her a little bit. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I still got to wait and see on that one. I'm going to put that over here on the side. I'm going to wait and see on that. But I kind of get the feeling that he really kind of digging her a little bit. So, but he tells her, he said, look, his was really good. He said, I had a church. Bob offered me this job. I took the opportunity. She said, so, you the senior pastor for this region, whatever. He said, yeah, but it's deeper than that. She was like, well, what you talking about? He said, I am Bob Whitmore. She's like, what you talking about? He said, I write all of his books. I write all of his sermons. She said, well, why would you do that? Why would you agree to be his ghostwriter? He said, maybe because I wanted to get my message out. Maybe I thought it was an opportunity. He said, of course it was for the money too. He said, but Bob has insinuated that once this year with Grace is over, I could have, Calvary. She said, well, then why do you need to, find dirt on Grace? He said, because with Phil, nothing is a done deal. With Bob, nothing is a done deal till it's a done deal. And at the end of the day, I want Calvary. So if I could totally knock, Grace out of contention, he said it's the only black church under the Hope and Harmony flag, so it ain't like I got a lot of opportunities. So Charity gonna say, I guess we are more alike than I thought we were. I said, oh Lord, here we go. We right back where we damn started. Just when I was starting to give you some damn credit, Charity, your ass is right back where you started. But anyway, so next thing you know, at the end of the episode, we see Charity reading Bob Whitmore's new book, aka Phil Dumar's. smiling and grinning. I said, see, that's trouble right there. Trouble. Now, back over to the estate, honey. This week got good and good. Karissa approaches Lady Mae. Lady Mae is in her boudoir, okay, in her private abode. And Karissa comes rolling up in there with this envelope. And Lady Mae was like, look, Karissa, it is just a damn furniture. Take it. Damn. She was like, well, that's not what I'm here for. She said, I wrote it in a letter, but I figure I should just tell you myself. So she starts telling Lady Mae how, I did nothing but wanted to try to be your friend. I just wanted you to like me, and you never did. And you just don't know. No one has ever hurt me the way that you hurt me. Your husband cheating on you didn't hurt you more than that? Okay. All I've ever wanted was for you to like me. And, my own mother treated me like she had to compete with me. And I was just looking for some motherly love. But you are just, and then she starts calling Lady Mae all kinds of names, honey. And that she's just this horrible person. And she's just a wench. And, honey, Lady Mae read back and smacked the hell out of Karissa. Karissa just went, I guess that was all she needed. She said, well, ain't no need me holding on to that no longer. And she just went off, honey. She started calling her all kinds of miserable old bags. And nobody, the people fear you. They don't love you. And, oh, man, all kinds of stuff, honey. They were going back and forth. Then Lady Mae was giving it back to her, honey. They was going back and forth, back and forth. Until finally, Karissa was like, I just can't wait till I get the hell out of here and we will never be back. And I will just send your son and your grandchildren up here to visit you. But I will never come back up in this house, honey. Baby. Next thing you know, Bishop coming in. So both of them stop. They stop, they stop hissing at each other. And of course they play nice for Bishop. Bishop talking about something. Y'all good in here? Lady Mae said, we've come to an understanding. See, Karissa. This is a perfect example of counting your chickens before they hatch. Because you go back to your little private residence and you're going through your nightly routine, and Jacob comes home and let you know he done lost his damn job. And y'all gonna have to put off moving. Now, once again, I don't understand. You think, she said that they made a profit on the land. That wasn't enough for a down payment. And once you get the down payment, his salary from Calvary and her salary as a teacher can't cover the damn mortgage. And again, what y'all been doing with y'all money for the last 3-4 years? Because since this show has been on the air, we in season 4. Y'all ain't paid rent yet. You paid a little bit of rent when y'all was renting that place from the Skankses. Okay? That was like maybe 6 or 7 months. Then you ended up moving into the parsonage because you became the pastor. So I know they was taking care of your rent. At the very least, what you were making being the head pastor of a damn mega church had to cover the damn. I don't understand it. Put it in them comments. Y'all let me know what they doing with their money. But neither here nor there. After you done cussed Lady Mae out and told her where she could go and how she could get there, honey, y'all not going nowhere. Y'all not. Y'all not moving out. Y'all not moving out. So, last but not least, honey. Well, not last, but next to last. Bishop tells Lady Mae, Bishop is looking at some of his old sermons, and I guess it gets to him and it makes him start thinking about what his real reason is and what his real intent is and why he really wants to go and preach down in Atlanta. And I guess the message that he got from that is that he need to be still and that Lady Mae was right. So that's what he went. See, I don't get it. I listened to the sermon. I ain't get what he got out of it. But whatever. Because I don't see what the big deal is for him to go and preach at a damn church. If anything, it might make the people at Calvary be like, oh, shoot, pastor got options. Maybe we need to get it together. I don't know. But I don't see what the big deal is with him going down to Atlanta for one goddamn Sunday. But whatever. Maybe I shouldn't have said goddamn. But anyway. So, of course, Lady Mae is happy. And they have like a little intimate moment. I mean, not like sex intimate, but, they was close to together and they was in each other's face. And She got to crying and got real emotional, and he think it's about what he just said, but it's really about she probably want to go another round with Karissa. But anyway, last but not least, honey, Grace rolls up on Lady Mae. Lady Mae trying to study the Bible, honey. Grace said, Mama, I need your help. You know, Lady Mae took them glasses off. She looked up at Grace and she said, well, what's going on? What you need? She said, I need help with my son. Lady Mae gave her the what? You need help with your who? She said, my son. And that's where it went off. Y'all, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Let me know what y'all thinking. Talk to y'all later. Peace.